So it's clear that we are watching the fall of the American empire in real time. And there is a stark difference in the way that the white community is responding and how the black community is responding. The black community en masse has completely withdrawn. They fought, they campaigned, they warned us, and we chose the orange man anyway. And they're out. The white community, on the other hand, is fighting. Those of us who aren't under Trump's spell. And there is this real sentiment that if we can just get Trump out of the way, then we can all get back to normal. But the thing is, that's not what God is doing. And I'm not a nihilist, but we're missing the point. The point is this white supremacist system has wreaked enough havoc. Enough. And God is judging it. And the fact that we are clinging so hard to it makes me wonder, what does the black community see that we don't, that's allowing them to totally let go right now?
White people are trying to figure out how and why black people have collectively withdrawn from this country, essentially. And it's clear to me that a lot of y'all have never been in a toxic relationship. And unfortunately, I have. But let me tell you how this goes. In a toxic relationship, you usually have one person who isn't shit, right? It's usually the man. And the man is, emotionally abusive. He is a cheater. He's a liar. He's a manipulator. He gaslights. He's narcissistic. But he also has a lot of potential, right? He also can be very loving. He also promises things to come in the future, right? He also can be very exciting at times. And those things keep the woman around. But when things are bad, shit goes up, right? Windows get broken, cars get scratched up, TVs get shattered, broken glass everywhere. Just a lot of chaos in these situations at times, right? And this goes on. These ebbs and flows, these ups and downs go on for years sometimes. But at some point, the abused party in his relationship just completely wakes up and decides that he or she is over it, right? And when that happens, there is no blow up. There is no broken windows. There is no shattered windshields. There is no scratched up cars. There's just calm, right? There's folded clothes. There's neatly packed possessions. That person decides to go on about their business. And that's where black people are with this country at this point, right? Like, we're just sick of y'all shit. And we're not going to protest. We're not rioting. We're not doing none of that shit. You know what I mean? Most of us are just simply withdrawing, going on about our business and surviving like we know how to, like we have always done since this country, since before this country was founded.
It's a great question. I really do appreciate that he went ahead and he has the gumption to ask this question, but you gotta ask the question of how we got into a car accident to whom is driving the vehicle. Because America is a car and white people are driving. Okay, white people are driving and we see the road signs, we see the stoplights, and we say, hey, slow down. You gotta hit the brakes. This isn't safe. White people just do whatever they want to do. They're driving America, so when America gets into a car accident, you don't turn around and say, hey, what the fuck? You didn't let me know that there was a stoplight right? Why are you blaming the people in the back? Who's driving? Ask the question to whoever the driver is, how we got
here. The inevitable is happening. The thing we as black people have known all along about this administration in power, how our rights were being infringed on, how the country would spiral, how women's bodies would be controlled, how education would be gutted, and how the rich would get richer and the poor would get poorer. Because the only difference between this...
You and I and everyone else who supported him, you wrote speeches for him, I campaigned for him, we were implicated in this for sure. But the question does present itself immediately, like, what is this? Was this always the plan? You don't want to be a conspiracy nut, but like, clearly there were signs of low character. We knew that.
This.
There are aspects of his personality which are obviously not good, and that we've mostly just chosen to overlook. You know, he's not a moral man. He's obviously not the greatest husband in the world. You know, cost of American lives isn't the motivator. It's just that Trump has moved on to other things because he has the attention span of a gnat.
And this,
And what American is this helping? Besides the industrial war complex, what I just don't know. I don't understand. So yeah, that's what our president's up to, and it's fucking baffling.
isn't you had a change in morality or a different point of view. You're just now impacted. And what a spineless way to live. You say to yourself, I'm okay if marginalized groups are impacted as long as my positioning as a white person is unchanged in this country. We knew. So when you ask,
What does the black community see that we don't, that's allowing them to totally let go?
we saw you. We saw our parents and grandparents fight for their rights as humans. We saw how at every turn, the only thing people in America, white American men, and those white American women who feed into racism and the patriarchy want is capitalistic system where black people don't benefit, women stay in their place, the masses remain uneducated, and America stays white. So yes, we knew. MAGA voters are speaking out against Trump. Farmers are watching crops rot because of tariffs, federal workers losing jobs they thought were safe, veterans seeing benefits get cut. But none of this is shocking because the policy didn't change. Their proximity to it did. This pattern is as old as oppression itself. If we go back to the Reconstruction era after the Civil War, poor white and black farmers were in the same economic boats, exploited by the same landowners, crushed by the same debt systems. They actually started organizing together. The populist movement was building real cross-racial working class power. But the planter class got panicked. They did not want poor people joining up against wealthy people. So they did what ruling classes always do. They offered poor white farmers something black farmers couldn't have: social status. The feeling of being above somebody. Jim Crow wasn't just about hate. It was a political strategy to break solidarity before it became a threat. And it worked. Poor white Southerners voted against their own economic interests for generations, even until today, because they were giving the psychological wage of whiteness instead of actual wages. Fast forward to the New Deal, FDR's programs of Social Security, labor protections, the right to organize were genuinely transformative. But to get Southern Democrats on board, they excluded the jobs black people were most likely to hold. Domestic workers, agricultural laborers, left out by design. White workers built generational wealth on those programs. Black workers were locked out altogether. So when someone says the government used to work for regular people, it did. Just not all of them, and just not all of us. And these are the same sentiments of MAGA today. Ida B. Wells warned us. She said, a country willing to use terror against black people had already proven it would use terror as a tool, period. The weapon doesn't retire once it's done with one group. MLK said in a Birmingham jail, he wasn't just frustrated with the segregationists, he was frustrated with the white moderates who thought they could stay comfortable while injustice ran its course. Injustice doesn't run its course. Frederick Douglass understood that freedom, if it wasn't protected for everyone, was just a loan. One thing we know about loans is that loans get called in. But in this country, if we have built and defended the political infrastructure to protect minority rights when black communities were screaming that these systems were dangerous, everyone would have protections right now and rights today. Now we're watching tariffs gut the same farming communities that cheered trade wars aimed at protecting them. Federal jobs disappearing from the same towns that voted to shrink government because the cuts were supposed to hit someone else. The tools they're using on immigrants, on black voters, and now the white working class Americans, same tools are now pointed somewhere new. You cannot outsource your freedom to someone else's oppression and expect to stay free. The only way any of us stay protected is if the system is built to protect all of us. America is in a very precarious place. And if we just believe black people, if we just granted black people equal protections and rights and freedoms under the law without the need for us to be in this centuries-long fight, then maybe, just maybe, we all would have adequate protections and not fall into a despot running our country dry while enriching his helm of billionaires. You ask black people, what did we see that you didn't see? We saw our story and our history. Stay black, stay blessed.
Don't.
I can't speak for the entire black community, but I can speak with a surety for those whom I am connected with, both friends and family alike. And it's real simple. The United States has bad credit when it comes to us. If you went out to get a car and they denied you because your history of payment is sketchy, it's because you have bad credit. If you went to get a house and you could not get the loan because your history of payment is sketchy, it's because you have bad credit. Black people are tired because the United States has bad credit with us. For the years that we have been paying into this country, its return on our investment is shoddy. So we're tired.
You said it yourself, Chad. All of this, everything that's going on right now, my father prepared me for this when I was a child. White supremacy is cruel, and it runs deep in the heart of America, down to its foundation. And the Trump family has long had the power, money, and influence without paying any of the price to sustain their hold on America. What is it, like 5 generations of Trump have never served, and every generation in my family has served? There's a big difference. And we've known this, not just recently, for hundreds of years. And when we finally got a voice, we tried to warn y'all. We tried to warn y'all a long time ago. And the last time somebody really got y'all attention, y'all shot him. And the time before that, y'all shot him. And the time before that, y'all shot him. So if that's what y'all really want, that's what y'all got. Far be it from us to deprive ourselves of a spectacle, you know what I mean? Drink water. Do better.
In real time.
What is and what should be is really hard for white people to distinguish between, because what is so beneficial to them. Because what do you mean? What do black people see that white people don't see? Why are you inferring that black people have not been sharing this information, shouting it from the fucking rooftops forever? Black people have been telling white people, like, use your privilege to protect those without your white privilege, because the system will come for you eventually if you do not. And then we're fucking surprised when it happens. We're like, what do you guys see that we don't? Common sense is just so fucking dead these days. Like, it's painful. White folks are still romanticizing the United States. They either believe that it was great and it can be again, or that it can be in the future. Black people see very, clearly that any system that was built on the exploitation of a historically marginalized community can never be great. Because the truth is, on November 6th, Black people woke up and not much changed for them. Okay, Black people woke up and they were like, all right, I guess we're just going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. And white people woke up on November 6th, 2024 in a fucking panic. Like, oh my God, what's happening? I've never had to experience this before. I've never felt this kind of fear. I've never, like, what do we do? What do we do? And the world has to stop for that. And even though Black communities are stepping back and prioritizing their own well-being in terms of resistance right now, they are still offering guidance to white people for how to effectively fight the monster they created. They are giving you a whole bunch of recommendations on how to do that effectively, and white people keep ignoring it. They keep trying to do things their way, as if their way has worked at any point in the last 250 years. White supremacy is a cult, and white people are not going to leave it until the cost of maintaining membership with the cult is more than the cost to leave the cult. And unfortunately, that requires a lot more hurt. White people are going to have to experience a little bit of the pain that the system has been inflicting on communities of color, specifically other marginalized communities in the world as well. They're going to have to feel that. They're going to have to feel that. And the consequence has to be there for them to just finally wake up and see what Black people have been telling us all along.
I'll tell you what I can. Black people are resting. They thought we had more fight in us. Literally every other country that's been through even remotely similar, like at the beginning of everything, has risen up. So what I presume, fellow pastor, currently I am a minister. I have been a pastor. The thing is, listen to Black women. Listen to Black women. I'm going to say it one more time. Listen to Black women. It's not just that people of our skin tone voted for Trump and all those guys, Republicans again. They don't see us as having fight. I don't either. Now, I'm going to be straight up with you. I am nervous at any sort of conflict. I'll admit, a little bit scared. But if you're feeling really scared, start getting people to speak about rising up. Start getting people in your community to organize and actually organize and be actionable. Start speaking more about it. Nobody that's resting is going to get off their tail unless they see some action, because they are the first ones targeted. There needs to be a whole bunch of people, white people, saying that we are going to be in the front lines. Back us up. Scary, isn't it? I bet you'll chicken out. They do. Right now, people are too comfortable. They're too afraid. We're not even remotely angry enough about school shootings. What makes you think we're angry enough about the pedo-in-chief? Like, if you could, but it would cost you your life, would you? Would you? That's the question they already have the answer to. They haven't seen any action. They've seen people in costumes. After they've endured so much, they've heard from their ancestors, their parents, their grandparents, about the things that happen. They've read about things that are suppressed and not taught to us. So that's why they're resting. They think all of you are cowards. Real talk. It's hard to swallow, isn't it? But what kind of ally can you really call yourself if you're not going to be on the front lines with them, if not in front of them? Would you trust somebody that you know won't show up? Like, they'll talk a big talk, but they won't show up in the moment. You going to trust them? Would you trust them to protect your children? So yeah, you want to speak up about it? Start speaking up about it and getting other people to do the same. Until then, just kind of stay silent about, black folk. I love all of you. And as always, stay amazing.
Okay, go back and watch that video for full context of what I'm about to say, but please understand, I'm doing this as a twofer, so I'm going to be a little serious at first, and I'm going to end with something a little lighthearted. Still a fucking war crime.
Delicious war crime.
It's, oh God. Anyway, we'll get to that. This gentleman asked what it is that we know for why we are responding that way we do. It's not that we know, it's that we have experienced. We already know what's coming down the pike. We have seen what happens when white supremacy meets capitalism meets stupid. This is not our first rodeo. We campaigned. We did everything we could. And when the time came that y'all said no, we went, okay. You know how you first learned to ride a bike? And your parents are there holding you and, I've got you, it's okay. And then they see that you've got it and then they let you go. This is kind of that, but this is more y'all driving nuclear weapons into the ground. Like we just got to go, okay, because there's nothing we can do. You have made your stance. You have made your point. You have said outright you are tired of having to feel as though being white is a crime. Although I don't know who the fuck said that except other white people. Because we didn't fucking say it. So, to end this, we understand that shit's going to get bad. We understand that prices are going to go up. And we also understand that there is absolutely nothing we can do about it. We also know that protesting would probably get us shot in the streets, so that's the other reason why we stay home. But I figured y'all should have known that, so I wouldn't have to cover it. Now, on to the war crime. So, I love my boyfriend. I do, with my whole heart. But he has tried to introduce some interesting popcorn flavors to me. On our trip to North Carolina, it was Chicago popcorn, which was cheddar and caramel. So Friday, he comes over and he says, I have something that I think that you would like. Y'all can't read this because it's upside down, but this is Old Bay and caramel popcorn. Say it again. Old Bay and caramel popcorn. My boyfriend bought this war crime into my house. So, I'm going to try it. God. Look at the smell. Oh my God. Okay. Alright. I love you.
Yes, you do. Bigger. No, that's not. You don't get the full effect.
I have
There's like big chunks in there that 3-4 things that stuck together. You barely.
Is that
Sure.
Okay. Okay. You're looking at me like, just put it in your mouth.
just breathe it in.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna. There's a farmer's market in the wharf had a baby. Not a very pretty baby. You can hear from that laugh. This is a war crime. No, this is a fucking war crime that he did. Oh my god.
Give him back.
Hang on. There's not vodka in it from last night. Oh my god. Oh. I love you, but goddamn no. No.
I'm gonna eat a bunch of it and kiss you.
I can live with that. I can live with that. But as long as I don't have... Yeah. See, in relationship war crimes, there needs to be a Geneva Convention for this.
What do we see? Well, simple enough. We see you. Not you, particularly you, but we see your community. We see what you really are, what you really have been throughout the existence of this country. And it's not a blanket statement. Obviously, this is not a blanket statement because I would not count you among the group that I'm referencing here in this response to your video. But we see your community, and we want no parts of it. Because the reason why we're here is because your community has tried to socialize my community for hundreds of years. And when you look at some of the pathologies and things that are affecting my community, it is directly associated with the values imposed on us by your community. So we see it. And now that we have the opportunity and the ability to reject it, we're rejecting it. We want no parts of it. None. So when I hear white people say that the problems of the black community is because they're not emulating the values of the white community, yeah, miss us with that. Because we see you. We see that every single time a community other than yours takes a marginal step forward, y'all crash out and take us to the brink of annihilation. Every time. Every time, like clockwork. And so we don't want any parts of that. We don't want any parts of it. If you want to make America great again and take your country back, take it back. Take it back. Have it. We're going to be over here building our future. Over here being excellent. Over here creating doctors and business owners. We're going to do all of that independent of you. And now, because we live in a society that has a real-time record where we can put the actions of your community in real time across the world, you can't just show up and burn us down anymore. You can't just ride in the middle of the night covered in sheets and destroy our cities and our towns and the things that we build. So yeah, we're not focused on white people at all. So the idea that white people will face retribution theory the moment they become the minority in this country is just projection, because we would never ever do to you what you've done to us, because we have no desire to ever be you.
So if you really want to know what we see you. We see what you are. We see what you have been. And we don't want any parts of it. I hope this helps.
That's allowing us to let go. It's violence. It's violence, brother. I explain this in a lot of ways, but I'm just gonna like rapid fire. Epigenetically speaking, everybody and everything white, mind you, in order to be considered white, all you have to do is just collaborate against blackness, right? Like immigrants were coming here and getting promised job opportunities and the reality of being left alone by whiteness and assimilation into whiteness, right? But all you had to do was just keep black people from work.
So a lot of questions are being asked, and I know this is not getting you by surprise, because when you ask someone not to do something and they go ahead to do it, and then something happens to them, it is not getting you by surprise because you warned them. At least you took the opportunity to talk to them, try to make them understand that this and this is not okay, that this and this will cause you to live in a worse environment than you were before. This and this is going to affect your children, it's going to affect you, it's going to affect your job, it's going to affect the economy. Now, when such a person doesn't listen to what you just, the kind of advice that you just gave them, when something happens to them as a consequence, then it doesn't find you by surprise. Now they are here wondering because they always have it at the back of their minds that black people will always show up. They will always be the ones that are fighting for their rights, because as black people fight for their own rights, they're also fighting for the rights of everyone else. Now, they have banked on that for a very long time. And that is why it is finding them as a surprise when they see black people right now who are just, taking a nap, resting, drinking water, exercising, staying in the house, making friends, using that time to spend with family. It is finding them as a shock because they do not expect that. It has never happened before. They have it at the back of their minds that you people, the black community, will always come out strong and fight these demons that are in America right now. And the fact that you all have decided that you're not going to do that anymore, it is unsettling. It is bothering them. It's making them question a lot. They're unable to understand, And you know how much it takes for someone to even decide to now come out and ask the questions loudly. They have had small meetings all the time to ask each other what they think and how come the black community is not reacting to the things that are happening in the country. Now, the black people, as someone has explained in the video, the black community has been doing that for a very long time. They have been using the same strategy. When something goes wrong, they fight. When something goes wrong, they fight. When something is off a little bit, they talk about it. They question the government. They raise concerns. And what did they say about that? They actually made it look like the black community is used to ranting. The black communities does not know how to keep peace. They do not know how to appreciate. They do not know how to be quiet and just live their lives and let things be. When they were saying all these things and thinking in that manner, they were okay, That is the part that we are not going to forget. They were okay and everything of theirs was fine. The economy was on their side. They did not feel the impact of bad governance at all. They had food security. They had money. They had good opportunities. Everything was smooth, But now they have found themselves in a situation where they are in the exact same position as the black community. And now they understand why black people have always been on the streets, speaking their minds, saying it as it is. confronting the government, talking about it and just making sure that it is not blamed on them that they did not say anything. The black community has tried, and everyone can give, everyone knows that. Nobody can blame the black community right now when they decide to take a rest, when they decide to take the back seat and just watch things as they unfold. And of course, the results of such things are well known to the black community because they have been living in that darkness for a very long time. Nobody listened, nobody supported them, nobody joined in to help in the fight. Their rights were their own rights, so nobody cared. Nobody bothered to even get to understand why these people are always crying about this and that. Nobody cared. For example, the situation that is currently ongoing. The black people are being they are being tortured. Their property is being taken away. The Jewish lawyers are not doing anything to help. They are the problem itself. What are the white community doing? Nothing. They are quiet because as long as their property has not been touched, they are okay. And that is the same situation why we are coming to this conclusion that they only want to include the black person when their interests are at stake. Yeah? It is not for the black person, it is for them. It is selfishness because they're not thinking about all of us, they're thinking about themselves. Even asking the black community to join them, and even the question of wondering why are black people not joining us. If you rephrase that, what it actually means is that they expect you black people to fight for them because they deserve it. And that is where they get it wrong. And that is exactly the same point that the black community has vowed to make sure that they learn. This time they have to learn it, and they have to learn it the hard way. It is not sitting right with them. They are complaining. They are unable to just to be quiet, to be silent about it. They have tried talking. I have made videos of couples of them crying. And someone was actually crying with the MAGA cap on. You don't learn. You are far from learning. Yeah. So, you have your thoughts about these things. You know whatever is happening, and you know the direction that this is going to go. They don't, or maybe they are trying to behave as though they don't. They are unsettled because from a tender age they have been used to being listened to because of their skin color. They have the privilege, they have the white privilege. They get listened to. When they complain, someone looks at them and, changes things in their favor. That's why they did not even give thought and time to listen to what the black community was complaining about before the voting. They did not. And now it's coming to their realization that whatever the black person was fighting for was actually for everyone else. It was for the good of everyone else, not just the black community alone. It was supposed to benefit everyone that is in America, but now look at how the situation turns out. They did not listen. They did whatever they did because they know it all. And now it is a shame to look at them on the streets crying, recording videos of them crying about the economy, comparing the economy to China, doing all manner of things, ugly cries on cameras. Why didn't you prevent it? You had a chance, you had an opportunity. All you needed to do was to listen to the black community and what they were saying. They knew it. You are regretting right now, and it's not yet there. it will get worse. So you better brace yourselves, because you're not ready. You're definitely not ready. The black people have gone through this for years. The reason why they're not saying anything, the reason why they're not doing anything about it, is because they have spoken enough. They have been on the streets enough. They have talked to you guys enough. You did not listen. You did not have a care in the world to listen. And now when the consequences are here with us, you want them to stop whatever they're doing to fight. And it's not even a genuine kind of fight. It's a kind of fight that screams, fight for me, because I am white. You know, that's not how it's going to be. And the black community, I'm so proud of you guys, because you have all come together and said, not this time. It's not happening, not again. Yeah. Now, other than that, there are a few comments and emails that I have been getting from some of people from the white community, and even some black people that want to expand their knowledge on what racism is, how it started, and how it is at the moment, and like how it affects people in general, and the black community for that case. Now, I have found a collection of books that I would advise you to read, and I hope that you actually go and find them and read them, so that when we are doing these videos and we're having these discussions, you're giving your comment, especially as a white person, you're giving your comment from a point of understanding, from a point of, getting to understand how these things actually happen. So you're not just leaving a comment for the sake of it and proving your damn selves. So guys, the books that can help educate about the black experience in America, the first book that I have on the list is The Color of Law by Richard Rothstein. I have Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher and Stowe. I have Black Skin, White Masks by Franz Fanon. That's a good one. That's a scholar right there. Medgar and Miley by John Arnride. I Am Not Your Negro by James Baldwin. And there's a lot more. Yeah, you can share in the comment section if you have read books that will help someone to try to understand the situation that black Americans go through, and the things that they have had to endure to get to where they are, and how they actually feel. Like books help you to understand the real situation and how it feels, in as much as you will not exactly feel it because you have not experienced it firsthand, but you will get an understanding of what it is like and how they respond to it. Yeah. Now, I have other authors that you might want to check out. One of my favorites that I have mentioned in my channel for a very long time is Toni Morrison. We've even done a video of her, and she was on this interview with a journalist that asked her a racist question. You might consider checking her out. Toni Morrison, she has a book, my favorite, The Bluest Eye. The Bluest Eyes, beautiful book. There's books by Richard Wright. They could help you. There's Frederick Douglass. That is a legend. You need to check out his book. And then there's Ralph Ellison. You might also want to check him out. Maya Angelou, beautiful, beautiful woman, and her poetry and books. Check her out. So, yeah, this channel is for people that want to learn, people that want to unlearn things that they have grown up knowing, and we want to deconstruct those things that need to be deconstructed. We want to debunk theories that they have learned over the years and actually think that is the truth. We want to debunk all of those things to make sure that we are on the same page on this channel, and we are learning, unlearning, relearning, and that is actually the goal of this channel. So guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like it a little bit more, give me a super thanks. New subscribers, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I just lack the words to express the joy that I have. Thank you so much for choosing to be here. and actually subscribing. Returning subscribers, always in my heart. You people are the ones that have made me, and this far that I have come is courtesy of you. So I thank each and every one of you. You're special to me, you're special to this channel, and I hope to keep seeing you more and more. What else? I hope that you're also keeping safe, making sure that you are checking on your brothers and sisters to make sure that they're okay, and resting. Remember to rest. Remember to sleep enough. Remember to hydrate and just relax. Watch things unfold. Relax. It is your time to do that. So, guys, I think I will leave it at that, and I hope to see you on my next video. Bye for now.